Let's get right into the news. If everyone could stop saying I look like Keemstar, that'd be fantastic. I mean, I know we both have beards, but it's a bit of a stretch. I would take his views, if you know what I'm saying. But come on guys, show a little respect. So we're just a couple of weeks away from the launch of Sea of Thieves, and we already have a pretty clear picture of what the game is gonna look like through playing in the alpha, the beta test, the stress test, and all of the videos and information released by Rare. It looks like Sea of Thieves is going to be sailing and goofing off with your friends, finding buried treasure, bringing back shipments, and hunting skeletons for the game's 3 factions. We'll be going after skeleton forts for hordes of treasure, dealing with the Kraken, and of course, fighting enemy pirates. It's a big part of this game. All while trying to become pirate legend and amass gold to get sweet cosmetics for your pirate and your ship. Basically, all of that is what Sea of Thieves is going to be. Now, there's still a lot of things that hopefully they haven't announced, but more so that I would just love to see in the game. So today, I'm gonna go over the 10 things we need in Sea of Thieves. The first thing would be better ship combat. As it is, the ship combat's a lot of fun, but I'd like to see some more options. Imagine a harpoon at the front of your ship that you could launch at another one, and if you landed it, it would slow them up temporarily. I'm not saying we need to tether them indefinitely and camp them. It's already, the game's got some camping issues, you know? But something to slow down enemy ships to make it so that it's not so easy to just get away. Now, Rare's probably trying to cater to people who do want combat and don't. If you do want to fight, you turn around and you fight. If you don't, you can sail away. And I'm not saying that we should make this a griefer's paradise, but adding a harpoon, adding mast and sail damage, something to temporarily slow ships, I think would be a real nice addition. Now, we also have some of the most gorgeous water ever in this game. I think that's one of the highest praises that I constantly see about Sea of Thieves. Why not make better use of that? Imagine whirlpools that could suck your ship down into the abyss, or giant rogue waves that could just capsize you instantly, making you lose all of your shipment containers, all of your treasure chests. If any of you have ever been out on the sea, you know it's a pretty scary place. And as of now, it's just a beautiful set piece to other pirates and at launch the Kraken. But giving the sea more of a presence with whirlpools and rogue waves would be really, really cool. It'd also be awesome if we had ghost ships. This game already has an element of the afterlife. Every time you die, you get put on this ship and then you spawn back. And now, if that ship were to kind of present itself in the space, or if we saw like the Flying Dutchman coming in, firing cannons down on you from above, there's all sorts of cool things. Just in general, I think this game needs more of a random element of danger, whether it's the ocean or ghost ships or more sea creatures. Right now, we've got sharks, which are a small threat. We're gonna have the Kraken, but there's so much more they could do with this. We could have giant squids, a megalodon. Hell, why not Cthulhu? This game already has some mystical, magical stuff in it, so Cthulhu is gonna fit right in. Also, even just simply put, why aren't there fish in this game? Which brings me to the next thing we need, and that's fishing. How does this game not have fishing? This game is all about hanging out and doing things with your friends, and there's a lot of kind of chill vibe to it. Fishing fits in perfectly. We're on a ship the entire time, basically, that we're playing this game. Fishing needs to be in this game. You can just hang out, toss out your line, and just chill with your friends. It actually baffles me that we haven't seen or heard about it yet, so I really hope that fishing makes its way into Sea of Thieves. And just fish in general, please. The next thing I think we need to see is ship capturing. The PvP in this game is interesting because you can board a ship and you can kill everyone on the ship and try to take some of their resources and their chests, but they just respawn after a few seconds. Doesn't take very long, they come back in and they just keep coming. The most effective way right now to PvP is to just sink an enemy ship. You gotta get the base of that hull, fill it with water, and then they capsize and you can take their chests because they'll just be floating in the water. Boarding a ship doesn't really do much since everyone comes back so quickly. The respawn mechanic in general it kind of makes it for wonky. But the idea of ship capturing is interesting because imagine if you boarded a ship and then you raised your flag up to the top and then all of a sudden you commandeer that ship and the enemies no longer respawn on it. They'll respawn on another island, they can summon a new ship, but all of a sudden you and your crew now have 2 ships. I would also love to see dangerous trade routes in this game. Now, as we know right now, the Merchants Alliance will have us ferrying shipments from one island to another, but I'd really like to see the system incorporate kind of what they did in the game Arcade. If you didn't play it, basically the further you carried a shipment from its original source, the more resource and reward that you got. And making these trade routes that are known to everyone would also create a lot of conflict as people try to intercept those. So say every day there's like 3 specific trade routes from one spot to another, and they're all posted on a board on every outpost so people can see the trade routes that people will be doing, and then they can go to try to intercept those. As it stands right now, PvP is, do you happen to come across someone? But if there are these set locations that we can kind of force player conflict for people who want it, that creates a really interesting dynamic. We're kind of going to get that in the skeleton forts, but it'd be good to see that in multiple facets. The next thing I want to see in this game is powerful items. Now, they said they don't want to have progression power, so basically you won't get more powerful weapons as you go along or more powerful cannons for your ship. I envision these specialty use items that are maybe super coveted, only available to pirate legends, like this little trinket that you could use one time to summon the Kraken on an enemy ship. Or imagine this valuable stone that you could rub, it would disappear and you would call down a thunderstorm. The game already has this level of magic and mysticism with skeletons raising from the dead and a ghost ship every time you die, and if they added these special one-time use items that were super hard to obtain that had very powerful things, yeah, you could summon the Kraken and sink an enemy ship and that sounds OP, but it would be super rare and kind of crazy when you saw it happen. I mean, imagine being on the other ship and you see this guy raise a little trinket in the air, it glistens, and then all of a sudden you hear the Kraken careen towards your ship. It would make for some great moments. I would also love to see some more discoverability. As it is right now, we've got the islands, which are pretty cool, and we can go into sunken ships and maybe we get a treasure chest. But imagine underwater cities or caves that you could explore, diving under, going into a cave that has air that you could walk around and explore, or these cities, mass cities like the city of Atlantis with treasures and all sorts of things hidden there. I think they need to make some more use out of the gorgeous water in this game and the underwater potential. There's so much that they could do. And again, we go back to the mysticism. Maybe there's like portals into other dimensions. Before you call me crazy, it already happens when you die. Like, where do you think that is? That's not on a nearby island. You're in some hellish landscape. And the final thing we need in Sea of Thieves is minigames. It seems so obvious. Dice games, card games, drinking competitions, music playing competitions, sort of like Guitar Hero, where you gotta hit certain notes at a certain time, pit off against another player or something. There's so many things they could do with the pub in this game, putting tables on ships, you could do dice and board games, but since so much of this game is about just hanging out and making a fun experience with your friends, it'd be cool if there were some more in-game systems to enhance that further. And again, one more time, I just want to reiterate, fish, please. Fish and fishing. All right, guys, well, that does it for the 10 things that we need in Sea of Thieves. This is my personal list. There's a whole lot of other ideas out there. There's been so many pirate games, and there's so much you could do with this theme and this framework. Sea of Thieves, fundamentally, it's a game that looks great. It's a game that's fun to play. Now we just gotta fill it up with stuff, and it'll be amazing. That's gonna do it, guys, for me today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. And I'm not Keemstar, okay?